Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. On behalf of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed receives the Ambassador of Qatar accredited to the Sultanate to bid him farewell at the end of his mission. The activities of the Omani Magic Carpet exercise are concluded at Thamreit Air Base. And around 44,000 Chinese tourists visit the Sultanate in 2018. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. On behalf of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Saeed, His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for the International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and Special Representative of His Majesty the Sultan, received in his office today His Excellency Ali bin Fahd Al Hajri, Ambassador of the State of Qatar, accredited to the Sultanate to bid him farewell at the end of his mission. His Excellency the Ambassador of the State of Qatar expressed his utmost thanks for the support that he received during his mission in the Sultanate from His Majesty the Sultan, the government and the Omani people, which enabled him to carry out his assignments. He also expressed his best wishes of good health, happiness and long life to His Majesty the Sultan and the Omani people, further progress and prosperity under the wise leadership of His Majesty the Sultan. His Highness Sayyid As'ad bin Tariq Al Saeed thanked the Ambassador for his efforts in enhancing the existing bilateral relations between the Sultanate and Qatar during his mission, wishing him success and for the Qatari people further progress and prosperity. His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed Al Nu'mani, Minister of the Royal Office, also received His Excellency Ali bin Fahd Al Hajri, Ambassador of the State of Qatar, accredited to the Sultanate to bid him farewell at the end of his mission. His Excellency the Minister of the Royal Office thanked the Ambassador for his efforts to enhance the existing bilateral relations between the Sultanate and Qatar during his mission, wishing him success. From his side, His Excellency the Ambassador expressed his appreciation for the cooperation that he received from the officials in the Sultanate, praising the strong relationship binding the two countries. The activities of the Omani Magic Carpet exercise were concluded today at Thamreit Air Base. The exercise was implemented by the Royal Air Force of Oman with the participation of Royal Navy of Oman, Sultan Special Forces, U.S. Air Force and the British Royal Air Force. The exercise aimed to carry out joint training of air operations and to exchange experiences in the field of aviation. It also aimed to uplift the capabilities of pilots and exchange experiences in air combat operations. It also included the refueling process in the air. The exercise aimed to ensure the readiness of the technical cadres and other Royal Air Force of Oman affiliates. The number of tourists from China to the Sultanate witnessed an increase last year due to facilities related to tourist visa and the availability of direct flights through the national carrier. More details in the following report by Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
More than 44,000 Chinese tourists visited the Sultanate in 2018. This was announced during a specialized workshop on the readiness of the Omani tourism sector to receive Chinese tourists. The increase in the number of the Chinese tourists visiting the Sultanate is attributed to the opening of direct routes of the Omani national carrier to China and the facilities related to the tourist visa offered to the Chinese tourists. The workshop also focused on understanding the trends and the needs of the Chinese visitors to provide better services to them, in addition to the availability of potential hotel facilities, traditional markets, and unique touristic landmarks. For the Sultanate of Oman television, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
Still to come in our news bulletin. World's longest Viking bridge completed after a 3-year project. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Developing and enhancing capabilities of members of the public prosecution were topics discussed at the 10th preparation meeting for Deputy General Managers and Deputy Public Prosecutors in Gulf Cooperation Council countries. It was held at the premises of the Supreme Court in Muscat. The meeting discussed the memorandum of the Secretariat General regarding mechanism to choose members of inspection directorates at these apparatuses, in addition to the follow-up of the progress of its procedures and works. The meeting also dealt with the Unified Reference Regulation for Inspection and a memorandum on the amendment of joint cooperation rules among public prosecution at GCC countries. The undersecretaries of the ministries related to agriculture in the Gulf Cooperation Council countries held their 27th preparatory meeting at the premises of the Consultative Authority of the GCC Supreme Council. During the meeting, preparations for the upcoming meeting were highlighted. It is worth mentioning that the GCC Agriculture Ministers' upcoming meeting will be hosted by the Sultanate. The meeting will approve joint projects in the agriculture and fisheries wealth fields. The meeting will highlight the updating of seeds and seedlings low at GCC countries, in addition to discussing the project of improving sustainable systems to produce palm dates. In order to activate translation movement in the Sultanate, Petroleum Development Oman launched a new competition for translators during the Omani Translators' 4th Forum. The forum focused on this edition on language and its contribution in supplying local economies. It was held under the auspices of His Excellency Sayyid Saud bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Minister of State and Governor of Muscat.
Translation is an art and science as old as written literature, which brought civilizations and nations closer and formed an economic contributor of the countries adopting the knowledge economy. The Omani Translators Forum, in its 4th edition, focused on the future directions of the language industry and its role in supporting the local economy and diversifying sources of income.
It is actually an opportunity and a platform to not only spread the awareness among the Omani translators, but also to bring the relevant interested parties actually in order to discuss what are the latest development in the translation world. And it comes a part of PTO's vision, to be a center of excellence in many areas. And the translation is actually one area that we believe we have a center of excellence that we would like actually to spread the knowledge and awareness to the various interested parties in the Sultanate.
PDO has been keen to train graduates and university and college students and organize an annual forum for translation workers, stressing at the same time that the translator should know the language and knowledge of the subject, in addition to the rules governing the language transfer to it. Besides the specialized at PDO,
we always look for these fields or these events to learn from them, from the speakers, especially about economy and Oman economy. PDO organizes us to benefit the job market and also all the translators in Oman.
Translators believe that translation is not just a transitory activity that's limited to transferring the phrase from one language to another. It's not only the power of supply and demand, and it's supported by digital and technological components.
Members of the Municipal Council in the Governorate of South Batna discussed in their meeting the development of Al-Kasfa water spring and the work projects in various wilayas of the Governorate. They also dealt with issues regarding organizing the work of street vendors and some wrong practices by some expatriate workers in agricultural lands. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Saeed Al Hajri, Governor of South Batna. The Municipal Council of North Batna approved a number of new graphic areas in the Wilaya of Al Khabura. It also discussed in the meeting the allocation of land plots to establish waste water plant project in the Wilaya of Al Khabura and the fish market in the Wilaya of Liwa. The council also reviewed a number of replies related to paving Al Sarhat, Al Break Road in the Wilaya of Khabura, and discussed the allocation of a land plot to establish a museum in various wilayas of the governorate. The Ministry of Environment and Climate Affairs organized a workshop on dealing with hazardous chemicals. The workshop aims to identify hazardous chemicals to the dealers and to characterize the severity code according to the world ranking. It also aims to showcase the health requirements and safety procedures of workers in terms of dealing with hazardous material, accidents, and the special law and legislations of transporting and storing these materials, and to standardize and follow up procedures of transporting and storing operations. The ministry seeks by such workshops to control the chemical materials and the integrated management process of such material in the Sultanate by expansion partnership and activation coordination mechanisms between governmental and private sector involved in dealing with these chemicals. The Public Authority for Water, DM, recently implemented more than 80% of a number of water distribution networks projects in Mawalih, Al-Ma'bela and Al-Khawd in the Wilaya of Sib. That was revealed during a community meeting organized by DM to introduce its current and future projects in the Wilaya. Under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Abdul Mun'im Al-Hsani, Minister of Information, a seminar on tourism was held this morning. Here is a report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i.
Of boosting tourism in the Sultanate, a seminar under the title Arabia of Heartbeat was held this morning that focused on various strategies to attract more tourists.
Tourism industry is growing enormously in Oman, and me as a fresh graduate, I believe this seminar helped me a lot to understand the connection between tourism and transport. I believe that transport and tourism in Oman are enhancing and escorting to a higher level of professionalism.
High-profile speakers presented their topics on development of tourism and transport sectors. Speakers such as Chief Executive Officer of Oman Airports highlighted on the role of airports in increasing tourism, while other high-profile speakers spoke on various areas such as development of tourism infrastructure, the employment of Omanis, tourism economics, and many other areas.
Seminar, Transport and Tourism, is actually, there are three targets in the seminar. One is to find employment for young people, because high unemployment is a problem in Oman. And number two is actually to create an SME project for young people in tourism.
The ultimate goal of working on various touristic facilities is to have a year-round destination that appeals to a broader set of travelers continues apace, with addition of Oman Convention and Exhibition Center infrastructure initiatives, new hotels and other sports entertainments such as organizing the first balloon festival in Salalah, adventure trips by Isra and many other areas. The country is well on track. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The world's longest Viking bridge has been completed in Denmark using all tools and methods. This bridge will connect the Viking Museum with other archaeological sites. Here is a report.
A 3-year project to build the world's longest Viking bridge using the tools and methods that they would have employed 1,000 years ago has been completed in Denmark. The director of the National Museum of Denmark hammered the final nail into the 700-meter-long bridge at the historical Viking settlement at Albertslund, prompting a celebration among visitors clad in Viking clothes with music and traditional games.
This bridge is amazing because it has provided us with unique knowledge about how the Vikings constructed bridges and roads but it's also amazing because it has shown that when the collective spirit set out to achieve something, it prevails.
Over 1,000 craftspeople, school children and volunteers were involved in building the bridge at the historic site, where 48 Viking graves were discovered back in 2006. The original bridge across the marshy land is believed to have been built by Viking King Harald Bluetooth, who was said to have used it to transport boats across land to attack targets in Germany.